And we're going to start recording. Thank you. Okay, so welcome to the virtual Agile meetup. It's so lovely to see some familiar faces, I've already said, and also see some new faces joining us today. So we really hope that you enjoy this session. I am particularly excited about it, so is Ines, so really looking forward to it. If you haven't been here before and you've got no idea who we are, I am Helen Garcia. I am a Scrum Master, cognitive behavioural coach, but also training to be an electrician as well, because life isn't fun enough. So that's a new adventure to me. Ines?
Hello, everybody. I'm Ines Garcia. I'm an Agile coach. I like to explain that I'm an inventor because I do invent things for a living, especially connecting the dots. And because the work that we do is so creative, we shouldn't forget that part of it. And today I'm your host.
Thank you, Ines. So as always, we just really appreciate your time here and just want to thank you. I know that time is so precious in this world, and any time that you can come in together and meet new people and listen and understand, share knowledge is just great. So thank you for choosing us to be able to do that with your day today. In terms of questions and discussions or anything like that, then please use the chat. Feel free to do that. And also, you know, if you want to ask a question, do that throughout the session. Very happy for that too. We love a bit of conversation. As you already know, we are recording the session. If you don't want your faces to be seen, then switch your camera off, that's totally fine. If you do want your faces to see, then switch them on, because that would also be lovely. We love a bit of expression. I love a bit of our audience participation. The time box for tonight is, or today or this morning, is 90 minutes. So we will finish around about 90 minutes from now, basically, depending on your time zone. And like I've already said, we'll put the chat, any questions in the chat box, and be answering them as we go through. So, as you know, for people who have been here before, love to repeat it, I am a massive fan of rock, paper, scissors. Who has heard? I'm pretty sure it's a universal game. Oh, they all cheer. Yes, they do. And they have their thumbs up. Excellent, excellent. So rock, paper, scissors is great. I use this very regularly with a lot of my teams to make decisions. It's brilliant because nobody knows. You get a wider view. Everybody can use their hands, which is awesome. I hope. I haven't come across anybody who can't yet. And it's really helpful. So I always like to start the session with a game of rock, paper, scissors. So as you said, you're all new, I would love to see some great examples of a paper. Can you show me your best paper? Excellent, lovely papers around there. Anu, where's your paper? I want to see some. Oh, like it. Now I want to see some rocks, your strongest and best rock. Beautiful. Very nice, very nice. And lastly, a pair of scissors. Now, this is dependent on your day. Less of this, more of this, depending on where you are from. Cool. Love, not cutting your throat. I heard that was quite dark. Oh, and you've even, I love it. So I love that you've got all the props. Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. So now we're going to put it into practice. Sorry, I was doing a bit of promo for I had there. And sorry, I'm also just having a little bit of fun. So we're going to ask 3 questions. Those 3 questions you can vote with a rock, paper, or a pair of scissors. And if you are off camera, feel free to shout it out or pop it in the box. So tonight we're here for spicing up our virtual meetings and have a chat around that. So the first question is, the majority of virtual meetings I have attended are run the same way as we do in a person-to-person event. If you agree, show us a rock. If you're not sure, show us a paper. And if it's completely inaccurate, show me some scissors. Yeah, we've got some scissors, we've got some papers, we've got some rocks. Very varied, very varied. Okay, question number 2. You've done a great job so far. When facilitating meetings online, I, as me, think about the experience of that environment that attendees will have. Some people do, some people don't. Okay, lovely. And lastly, I am focused and ready to hear more. Drum roll. Cool, cool. If you're not, you aren't locked in. It's a Zoom meeting. You can leave. That's totally fine. But it is lovely to have you here. So on that note then, we will get together and we will kick off. And now I will introduce you to our fantastic, wonderful guest. I'm very, very excited. Anu, I would hand over to you for Spice Up Your Team's Virtual Collaboration Space. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Helen and Ines. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And also for the participants of today, thank you for being here. Please let me know if you can hear me. Please, can you hear me? And if I'm speaking too fast, please tell me to slow down. So use the reaction slow down on the Zoom chat. So I'm excited to be here today. I will be talking about how to spice up your online meetings, workshops, or anything that you do virtually. So, but before we get started, we're going to start with an icebreaker. Thank you, Helen, for that powerful facilitation. And we're going to do a redo icebreaker. And here is the question. I'm going to pop it in the Zoom chat. All right. I speak without a mouth and I hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I? So 60 seconds to guess. This is a redo icebreaker. I don't have a mouth and I speak. I don't have ears, but I can hear. I don't have a body, I don't have a form, but I come alive with wind. What am I? I know this is evening for some people and they're like, my brain is dead. I can't think. Just think of something that comes alive with the wind, And when it comes alive, a leaf, Ellen said leaf. Princess said echo. Yeah, it's an echo. The answer, where's Princess? Let me see your face. It's an echo. Where's Princess? Princess. Oh, okay. I can see your face. You look good, don't worry. You look good. You look beautiful. So it's an echo. Wow. I wouldn't have been able to guess right as well. That was brilliant. So please grab your phone or your iPad, or you can actually use your desktop as well. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to answer some few questions on Menti.com. So go to Menti.com and you enter the code 96222190. Menti.com and you enter the code 96222190. Is everyone there?
I'm having typical internet problems right this second, so I'm not there yet. But
okay, so use your phone, use your iPad, any tool that you have. And we're going to answer a few questions before we get started with today's interactive session.
The code again, please.
The code again, I'm sharing my screen, is 96, let me type it, 9622. So go to menti.com, code 96222190. 96222190. If you are there, you can answer question number 1. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your virtual meetings facilitation skills? Do you suck? That would be 0 and 1. Or are you a kick-ass, badass facilitator? Who are you? Are you the best, the best in the world?
It may be just
me. It's
Aanu.
not letting me
It
Oh, is
only,
vote or anything.
it only
wait.
gives me the question and submit.
It's not allowing you to,
There's,
what did I do wrong?
You might need to like click the present button or something like this.
Yeah, it says, please wait for the presenter to show the next slide. That's what I have on my hand.
I'm not even seeing the first, I'm not even seeing response.
Now we see it. Now we
Oh,
see
now
it.
we see it. Okay,
But now
good.
we see how connected does your team feel right now. So,
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
and it says that you have already voted on this question, but I didn't.
You did not.
No.
No, it only gives you a button to submit. It doesn't give you any way to pick 1 to 10.
Oh, really? Okay, so this is me sucking as well on my facilitation skills. And I use menti.com a lot, so I'm wondering, what did I do wrong?
If you want to share your screen, maybe we can guide you through it.
Okay.
There we go. Now it says, yeah, it says, yeah, there's no buttons to, there's no number to enter. It's just click submit.
It's a bug. We were working on the bug.
It's a bug. What's the bug? What's the problem with the bug? Oh, okay. So I'm doing skill. All right. You know what? Let's use Zoom chat. Let's do chat storm. So if your tool is not working, look for a different method. On a scale of 1 to 10, just type in the question. You suck, 1, you are the best, 10. So let's see what is popping up. Wow, Mary 7, Garrett 6, Ines 5, beautiful. Sorry, I can't pronounce the name very well, but I'll pronounce Copeland 6, Helen 8, Ohad 7. Wow. Okay, so I'm seeing 8 as the highest, Abigail. Right, let's go to the second question. How connected does your team feel right now? Since the world has gone virtual, how connected does your team feel right now?
So that does seem to work. So if you present again, I think we'll be able to actually use the Menti tool because.
Okay, awesome. Let's
There we go. So now I can do it. Yep.
So how connected does your team feel right now in the virtual space? Let's see if you can submit something, and nothing is coming out for you, Ohad. So
No, I haven't typed in yet.
Oh,
We have to
somebody
type
typed
words in.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mine
it asks
says
us to
enter
type
a
in a
word.
word. Yeah.
Enter another word.
Are we supposed to put a number?
a word, not a number. Enter a word, not a number.
Okay.
So it's fine. How connected does your team feel right now? So somebody said good. Let's see what will come up. 50%, okay, pretty connected, half connected, quite. Well connected is standing out. That's good to see. Not much. Wow. So the team is quiet, team dependent. All right. Let's spend the next few seconds. So another not much. So good and connected is standing out. Right. Let's go to this next question, which I hope I can go to. What are some of the impacts of too many back-to-back meetings for your team?
Sorry.
What are some of the impacts of too many meetings or back-to-back meetings for your team? Yeah, boredom, fatigue, context switching, lack of flow, frustration, exhaustion, burnout, Zoom fatigue, tell me about it, agitated, no time to work on task, no time to actually do the actual work. It affects productivity, cannot get any work done. Yeah, all right. No time to deliver work. So what do you think is standing out here? What stand out for you when you look at this word cloud?
No time to deliver, no delivering of work.
Yeah,
well,
Sounds like everybody loves back-to-back meeting to me.
Yeah, it seems everybody allows back-to-back meeting. And Mary said, yeah, no time to deliver work. And this is one of the biggest challenges with this remote working. And some organizations just want to get you busy. So they ensure that your calendar is filled with so many meetings. And that doesn't mean value. So let's look at the next question. And I hope this works. What are some of your pains with facilitating or participating in virtual meetings, trainings, or workshops? What are some of your pains when you are the facilitator or you are a participant in meetings, trainings, or workshops? And I hope this works. And if it doesn't work, we go to Zoom chats. Keep people focused, people not paying attention, lack of engagement, no visibility of attendees, no good results, easy distractions, not everyone wants to participate, not getting feedback, distraction, getting people to participate. You have to mute, unmute other priorities, people just leave, distraction, no good interaction, lack of feeling of the community. Lack of engagement and easily distracted, camera is off. Yeah. So there's a lot of bubbles showing up here. Which one resonates with you most? Just taking a look at these bubbles. So let's hear from one or two people. What's your biggest pain here? And you'd just like to share with us.
I think for me, the mute unmute is interesting in terms of priorities, because I actually met with a group of people like physically the other day, which has been a long time, and it was quite confusing because I forgot that people actually talk as a group rather than this sort of stagnant way of speaking.
Yeah, everybody's talking at the same time and there's no way of stack ranking who speak first. And you will hear 3 people speaking at the same time, and as a facilitator, okay, who should I call first?
or everybody's on mute and it takes them 3 minutes to get off mute. They're talking on mute and you're saying, are you talking on mute? And you lose half your time in, are you on mute? Oh, I have a bad connection. Can you dial back in?
Have you, I think in addition to what you just said, Mary, have you been in that space where everybody's just quiet and you wonder, oh my God, what's going on? Have I said something wrong? It's why everybody's so quiet about this, you know? So
I just hear divine voice. Can you switch on your camera for, oh yeah, his camera is on. All right.
Did you hear what I said, really?
Yes, I did. I don't know if Mary did. Mary, that question was directed to you.
Sorry, what was the question?
It wasn't a question, it was a comment.
I did shake my head. Yes, I do have that where.
Okay, good to know.
And sometimes it's because they're on mute, so they're not interrupting, or you're not hearing the noise in the background, you know, or their dogs barking, or the builders, or whatever.
Yeah. So let's move to the next question. Thanks everyone for your contribution, and I hope this works again. What do you like most about this virtual space? What do you like most? What gets you excited when you know you are going into the virtual world?
My meeting in the pajamas.
So I hope you can enter. Okay, good. So Damola, yeah, divine, yeah. So no need to wear, No need to wear trousers, convenient. Yes, working with international colleagues. Those are some of the benefits, you know, getting to learn about other people's culture, freedom, less commuting. Yeah. You know, you save on gas and fuel in Europe, gas in the UK or in the US, staying at home, similar experience. Wow, I would like to hear from someone that says similar experience. So, you know, tell us more about that. What do you mean by similar experience?
Okay, there you go. I have been put on the spot. Quite a few things from that. So I work remotely from years with global teams from all over the world. So everything else but work has changed, not work versus so much. And some of the things that we encounter having satellite teams, so like some co-working, some not co-working, different time zones and whatever, is that you don't get the experience of what's happening in the virtual room the same way. The fact that everybody is remote, then it kind of levels up a little bit that experience. Obviously, there are difficulties, depends where you are and the technology access that you may have, but it could potentially be a way, an opportunity to kind of have that a bit more similar experience that may have not been there.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing. Then wearing comfy clothes, right? And work from anywhere. You can travel and you can still work and you can still get paid, especially if you're a contractor and you're not getting time off, you know, from not working. Guessing which other people's
That was funny.
I'm reading this last one. You know, so I love this last one that says, guessing which other people are wearing trousers. You know, there's an icebreaker that is called Guess Who, right? Oh, there's an icebreaker called Guess Who. And the question could be, guess who is, of course, you don't want to ask the question, but guess who, whatever it is. If the team is really closely, you know, connected, related, and they can ask any type of questions, fine. You know, there's a sense of community and deep, intimate relationship with the team. But you don't want to ask, guess who is not, you know, that this kind of question with a team that has not formed yet together. You know, so these are some of the benefits that we get, you know, with the existence of COVID. Let me see what the next question is. How do you make your virtual meeting fun and entertaining? What are some of the things that you do? And this is one of the outcomes that everybody will take away from here. What are some of the things that you do that makes your virtual meetings to be productive, fun, and entertaining? So let's share some wisdom here. Make everyone wear a hat. Yeah, I've seen that. You play games. Ask someone to tell a joke to start with. Yeah. Imagine your physical and virtual experience. Start questions on which movies everyone like, which music, and so on and so forth. So, you know, these are some of the icebreaker technique, asking people to talk about movies, you know, talking about music and stuff like that. Games, virtual reality. There are some games out there. I think I was exploring last week and I found one that was free. So if I remember, I will share it with Helen or Ines and they can share with you. Yeah, you can start with quiz questions. Yeah, what else? What else do you do? Out of icebreakers, games, you know, co-creation. Yeah, so all collaborate for a new eye. That's good. People are working together, collaborating together. That co-creation and co-ownership is really good. What else do you do? Let's keep them coming. I know someone that likes to play music, and I don't know if Divine has entered that.
I have put up virtual locations. You know, we're meeting here, and it, you know, the Northern Lights or place where there were hot air balloons, and then people started telling stories about being in hot air balloons or wing walking, and people start sharing experiences.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that. I like that. You know, I've seen some people, a team that actually loves Star Wars, and they are in, you know, whatever part of the Star Wars virtual space, and they have that as a background. So everybody have to switch it on, and they talk about, yeah, where are you? Of course, if you love Star Wars, you know where that is. But why are you in that particular location? You know, and research shows that when people start talking at the beginning of your meeting, there's a 60–70% chance that they will participate and collaborate throughout the entire experience. We share pics from each other holidays, share their passion project, share about their culture. Wow, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. So I think we can capture this and share. So how do you spice up your virtual space now? What do you do now to spice it up? I can, of course, there's a bit of similarity from the last question. So apart from the virtual space, virtual reality, you know, music, games, tell us the kind of games that you play. Tell us the kind of games that you play. Jackbox. Yeah, rock, paper, scissors. Yay, Helen took us through that. Guess who? Wow. Not who is not wearing trousers. 2 lies and 1 truth. Yes, you can play that virtually as well. Yeah, so that is virtual, what do you call that thing? Scavenger or aunt or something like that. Yeah. Code name. Oh, tell us more about code name. What does that mean? Who asked code name? Tell us a bit more about code name.
I did. So this is an online game where it's a strategy game. So we divide into 2 teams. And then you have to kind of guess certain things. So it's really interesting for the team to, you know, just pump up. And yeah, we do that not very often, but yes, we have played maybe once a month or something. So we keep some time just to have a fun thing for the team. Yeah, it's a really online, nice game.
That's awesome. Can you share the link? You said it's
yes.
an online. Yeah, please, if you can share it in Zoom chat.
Okay,
that would be
I will.
awesome. Yeah, virtual bingo. That's I actually planned for us to do virtual bingo. So let's see. Let's see how that will look like. Word of the day. Sleeping songs title into discussion. No stress chess. Tell us that I've never heard of that before. I love it. No stress chess. Who wrote that? Tell us a little bit about that. Please, let's share. Let's share, let's share, let's share. All right. Oh, is that you? Okay, no one is talking. All right. Hopefully we can get the person to share that with us. Now I will start sharing my presentation. Thank you for that short activity. I really learned some good stuff, and I will capture all those good ideas and wisdom that you have shared, and Helen and Ines will be able to share with everybody. All right, so where is my PowerPoint share screen? So we started with a radio icebreaker. Especially when you have intelligent team, you can start with a radio icebreaker that, you know, something that they can easily guess and something that they can easily, you know, they will find a bit of creative and thinking out of the box. So let's talk about this space, virtual space that we are in. When COVID lockdown started, companies and everybody was trying to mirror exactly the office experience. But for some organization, it was easy. For some organization, it was difficult. But there are few challenges that happen when COVID happened and everybody has to go into the virtual space. The first challenge was back-to-back meetings, as some of you stated, especially when you have 2 straight hours back-to-back meetings, there's no space in between. And research actually shows that this brings a lot of stress to people, and the stress increases over time, not just emotional stress, but mental stress as well. When you don't have time to relax, when you don't have time to stretch your legs, when you don't have time to even take a break or even a breath, especially if you are the facilitators of that meeting. In other words, the stress keep accumulating because of back-to-back meetings. Then also another challenge that you mentioned is fatigue, not just Zoom fatigue. Whatever tool or application you are using, it leads to fatigue as well. Then sense of community is another challenge that you mentioned. With no physical interaction, the sense of belonging to a community could be lost. And since this pandemic began, the employee engagement levels have been in flux. You can see going up and down. And research actually shows that the key driver behind this trend is often a diminished sense of community. You want to talk to somebody. Sometimes in the office, you are taking a coffee break, you'll find a colleague, a friend, or somebody that you don't even know works in that organization, and you are having a chat. Before you know it, you're a soccer lover, you're talking about football, you're talking about soccer, you're talking about something that you have in common. Before you know it, you've built relationship and friendship, and you are going for lunch, lunch together. So that sense of community is maybe the second or the third on the research list that people missed when COVID happened and everybody was working virtually. Then another challenge is global working. Organizations are recruiting talent from different parts of the world. That is one of the biggest advantage for companies, especially those in the tech space. And the difference in time zone, cultural barriers as well, and working, doing, meeting virtually, that verbal, cues is missing. There's technology challenge when it comes to slow internet in some parts of the world. Infrastructure is really poor connection. Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, I can't hear you again. You are muted, and all those stuff that we talked about. Then some people have video and audio issues, and interactions could be very, very difficult. Then also, I've talked about internet connection, technology, in some parts of the world, there's electricity issue, right? If you don't have electricity, there's no way you can power your laptop. There's no way you can even have access to Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi is expensive, especially when you think of Africa and some parts of Asia as well. There's nothing like, oh, I'm paying monthly to Verizon, T-Mobile, or just name all those telecom organizations and you have unlimited. There's nothing called unlimited. It's not free. You pay for what you use, and that makes it very expensive. And some organizations are not even supporting employees with perks and incentives for working from home, using their Wi-Fi's and stuff like that. And there are so many other tech issues. Then we have distraction. From homes, you have pets, you have children, you have so many things, and you are a soccer or football or a sport lover, and they are playing one of your game, and you have a meeting going on at the same time. Your eyes is looking at the TV, and another eyes, I don't even know, maybe you have 4 eyes. Anyway, another one is looking at the presentation, and your attention is divided. So some things that happens in the physical space cannot be translated perfectly well online. And, working remotely, when you think about it, it's like passing information to and fro. There's no way you can compare radio information and also television information. You are hearing, but with TV, you are seeing and you are listening as well. So if your team is feeling a little worn out or burnt out, you are not alone. In this midst of COVID, many teams are in the same boat. We've shared some ways of how to spice up our online meeting, and we'll continue to look at different things that we need to do. You know, any thoughts, questions, anything? Well, let me see, 20 chats. Oh, ice cream flavor. Oh, thank you, Codenames. Oh, yeah. Okay, Alero said discuss cryptocurrency. Yeah, that's the new way of making money. And thank you others for sharing the games that you have here. We collate all those and share it with you. So in working remotely, the first thing you want to do is to design your system of work, right? And when you are designing your system of work, you are not looking at people, you are looking at processes, you're looking at tools, you're looking at different things. You're looking at the entire ecosystem. Your system of work is not just the people that you are going to be invited into the meeting, but just think of the entire ecosystem, from infrastructure, from facilitation, ensuring that everybody has everything that is needed to attend the meeting and also to be able to support the meeting effectively. You know, there are different events or meetings that will facilitate. We have workshop, we have PI planning, we have agile events, we have so many things that we do. So, you know, I don't know how many of you are familiar with this event canvas. It's free, it's open source, it's online. You know, you want to think of your event canvas to rethink your regular events, your regular meeting. And most teams have events to prepare for, you know, in pipeline with planning, with different things. And preparation is the magic in hosting a great online meeting. You know, having your group showing up unprepared and without a plan will end up to a long, unproductive, a boring, and all those things that we think, you know, that we've thought about. You know, as a facilitator, you actually have to, you know, think about the purpose of these events. You know, just think of all those agile events and any other event that you facilitate if you're not in the agile space, and then redesign them around your new constraints, because there will be different constraints with, you know, virtual space, which is different from co-located space. And you are thinking about what can be done asynchronously and what type of digital tools do we need to support this type of events. So start with the end in mind. You know, thinking about what's the purpose of this meeting, what's the purpose of this event, and what are you hoping to accomplish? Why am I bringing people together into the virtual space? And what does success looks like for us? And what do we want to do with those success? So the magic in hosting a great online meeting is think about this, you know, and also you are thinking, do we actually need to come together in a virtual space, or can this meeting or this event can be done asynchronously? It's not everything that we need to have meeting for. It's not everything. So for an example, if you are giving a presentation, why don't you share the presentation beforehand and get feedback? You don't need to come together. And even if you have to come together, you know you are coming together to talk about the feedback. If you can do that asynchronously, and at the same time, you are making decision. So if your meeting is time boxed for 30 minutes, that time box 30 minutes, it's for decision making. Everybody should have read, you know, the presentation, and everybody should have understood what is the purpose of this meeting, and how do I make sure that as a participant, I'm giving my highest value to it. And getting better at asynchronous communication means less interruption and more control for people to be able to get their job done.
But Anu, sorry for interrupting you. Please. I completely agree with that statement, right? Everybody should come prepared to meetings, but in that world where everybody is back-to-back meetings, and you know, I find that very rarely people come to a meeting with, having taken the time to prepare themselves to that meeting. People kind of expect to come to the meeting and being told what they need to do in that meeting these days. And there's exceptions, and I guess it depends, who you're meeting with and all that. But in many cases, people just don't have the time to do the proper prep work for that meeting, right? So what ends up happening is you're losing a lot of time in like that, level setting and in kind of aligning everybody, making sure that everybody's on the same page and it remembers what we talked about in the last meeting and all that.
Yeah, so that's a very valid point. And one of the antidotes of back-to-back meetings, so let me ask you a question. Out of all the meetings that you attend, which one of them give you what percentage of those meetings are you a contributor, that your contribution is very relevant? And if you are not there, then the team or the group will not be able to make decisions to move forward. So just think of what percentage is that.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a very good argument, right? I mean, I think that there's always this tendency, and like in my company, we've had this conversation many times on like, don't invite people who don't need to be on a meeting, but that always kind of starts well, and then people kind of go back to their normal ways. But there's the other thing of like, if we're having a meeting about something you should know, then you should be on the meeting to listen to it, even if you're not contributing, to learn what's being talked about, so that we don't have to then have another meeting where I have to tell you the things I learned at the meeting with the customer, right? For example. So it just kind of turns into this, you're damned if you will and you're damned if you're not situation, right? If I'm not inviting you to all the meetings, then I gotta spend more time to now convey what was learned, and it's a challenge. I mean, I will say, there's definitely meetings that I tend that I probably shouldn't be on, and I am just as big a sinner as the next person inviting people that don't really need to be on a meeting sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. It's always been a really tough kind of balance to keep. Yeah. So what I'm learning from you is it's a habit, like a mindset thing that, is sometimes, very tempting and difficult to change from. And, I don't know if everybody is an agile people or non-agile. Helen, can you help me? Is everybody agile people?
Not everybody, no. I think that
Okay.
yeah, I think we have a range of people. So
yeah, I mean, I think probably much more. I apologize. I'll just say this. I think much more of a mindset than habits. But obviously, they're kind of intertwined. It's hard to separate the two.
Exactly. So here is my thing. And sometimes this is where we step up, and I do this a lot. So if you invite me to a meeting and I want to know what am I doing in that meeting and what contribution of mine is valuable. If you can't answer the question, then I don't have to attend the meeting. I don't know if you've ever heard something called delegation poker from Management 3.0. Every organizations I work with, because you'll find leaders attending, and sorry, 1 second.
Distractions on meetings is something.
I was just going to say that, one of those home distractions.
I'm sorry about that. This is one of the challenges we have. So when I'm thinking of starting with it, so for me, every organization I work with, especially to help leaders, that you don't need to be in meetings 9 to 5, because there are some things that needs your attention. For an example, removing constraints from the flow of value. For an example, removing organization impediments. For an example, staying in the coaching and mentoring and providing the right support. Agile principle 5, building projects around self-motivated individuals and giving them the support and the environment. That's leadership principle. Each day, did I motivate one person, or did I motivate my team, and how did I motivate them? What do they need that is slowing them down or blocking them from achieving their goal? And how can I support and create the best environment that helps them to thrive, to experiment, and to be creative? And the first thing I do with leadership is I use delegation poker. Just check it online, delegation poker. It's free. You can find how to use it, and, it starts with, what do I tell them to do? Yeah, I'm going to gather you together. I'm going to tell you how you're going to get your work done, what you are going to do, and X, Y, Z. And it's my way or no other way. And when you look at the 7th level of delegation or the 8th level of delegation, do I need to be in this meeting, or can I give my team the autonomy to make decisions without my input? Trust. Agile leadership, Agile principle number 5, trusting them that they can make the right local decisions and they can run with that decision that will help the organization to be successful. So do I need to be in every meeting? Do I need to be in every decision-making process? And when you also look at the delegation poker, as myself, as a coach, I do that as well. Do I just allow the teams or the groups that I'm working with, let me just give them the power and let me see the magic that will happen through their collective wisdom and collective intelligence? And do I need to co-create with them? So those are the things that we need. So that delegation poker is very powerful. Maybe somebody can share the link. It's from Management 3.0, and we take a look at it. So I work with leadership a lot. I don't have time for anything else. I'm always in meetings. What even the purpose of this meeting? Do we even need to have a meeting?
Issues or anything, just chat.
So can that person please go on it? So the key question to ask here is, what do we need to discuss online together? Can we do that on Slack? Or do we need everybody? Then if we have to come online, how can we use our time together wisely? That's the word, wisely, and minimize the number of synchronous meetings needed? What do we need to discuss online that we can discuss in a different way? There must be a good justification and business case for that. Because the challenge with back-to-back meeting is we can't get anything else done. And at the end, the team is not productive, they are not doing this, they are not doing that. But when they spend most of their time in meetings, another research shows that, especially when we distract developers a lot, it takes them 45 minutes for them to get back into the groove of coding. So imagine 45 minutes times how many times that we distract them. That is value and that is money. We leaders can be in meetings as much as we want to, but developers, we need to minimize. I have a team, one of my teams created a working agreement, and everybody must attend the Agile events, those Scrum thing, and it is compulsory. And those meetings supersede any other meeting except the CEO is inviting everybody for all hands, and we can change the time of our meeting. Any other meeting outside of those Agile meetings that would slow down development work, everybody has to agree to it. Why do we need to be in this meeting? And what value are we bringing to that meeting? If that value cannot be justified, we are not attending. And this team stood, they believed in their working agreements and they live by it. Then also, who needs to be there? And an interesting experiment that you can do is, if I had to convince people to attend my meeting, right? Who would I ask? And how would I convince them to attend the meeting? That's an interesting question to ask. If I had to convince or had to attend my meeting.
All you need to do is send an invite, I'll be there.
You don't want gift card? I can send
I don't
you
even, sometimes I don't even look if you're double booking me.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Sorry.
So invite only those that are necessary. Don't invite every members of the team. Maybe you just need to invite some rep and let the team make that decision. So we are going to have this meeting, and this is what we are going to discuss, and this is the outcome. And we also expect, we need contribution. We need to hear the voice of the team. Their participation is important, but we don't want to take everybody away from it because it's an half-day meeting, right? When you think of that half-day, your team can actually deliver 2 user stories and get it done. And you are taking everybody away from there. So let the team decide who should represent them and who can make decision on their behalf. And you know that you have some team members that are just introverts. They will never speak up in that meeting. Then send your extroverts that the team believes in and can speak on their behalf. Start and end on time. There's a report from Atlancia that states that for people to consider your meeting to be good, it has to start and it has to end on time. So as a facilitator, you want to have that good timekeeping skills, and also set the time as well. Let everybody know that this meeting is starting at 9 o'clock and it will end at 10 o'clock. Oh, and you want to set your expectation. If when you have a large group in your meeting and everybody is expected to be seen and to be heard, is there a pre-work that needs to be done? Design an alliance, have a ground rule or whatever you want to call it. But I love designing an alliance with people coming to my team. And what kind of culture or behavior do we want to have in this team? What kind of environment do we want to? How do we want to be together for the next 1 hour? So when arguments and conflict happens, how do we want to address it? What could make this meeting or this 1 hour to be the best use of our time? And we achieve our results. Then what happens when some people are going on and on? Do we want to use Elmo or you want to use this? And everybody agrees to it. So if Mary is going on and I do this, right, then Mary will understand that, well, I'm not insulting her, but this is an agreement that we did. So have a ground rule that will help establish what normal behavior and interaction looks like in the meeting. Oh, and every meeting must have an agenda. If you invite me to a meeting and I can't see the agenda, I'm not going to attend your meeting. It helps keep everybody focused. Oh, and when I'm facilitating a meeting, I want to share the agenda and there's a time slot for every conversation. This is 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay, we have 7 minutes. And if you know that your meeting is going to have a lot of, arguments and blah, 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 throw them into breakout rooms. Pair people up together. That's my best meeting facilitation skills. When I know that 10 people want to talk and they will need 5 minutes to talk and they will argue, I put them into breakout rooms, small group conversation, have a spokesperson, your spokesperson have 90 seconds to share what you have agreed in that group. I get meeting of 50 people done in 30 minutes by using that technique.
I never thought of that. That's good.
Oh, yes. So when you have type A personality in your team, they will never agree to anything. And also when you have introverts, they will never speak up in a large group. Put them in a breakout room. I always do 2 or 3 people. This is what we are talking about. And everybody go into your breakout room, talk about the challenges, come up with 2 solutions. You have 15 minutes for your discussion, appoint a spokesperson, and both of you can talk together, but you have 90 seconds. Yeah, 90 or 2 minutes or something like that. So when they come back, they will come back and share what they have. And of course, I would have used a board, maybe Mural, Miro, Jamboard, whatever I think it is the organization as an online real-time collaboration tool. So they have it there. so that we can gather information. And if I'm using Morale or Miro, immediately, if we are selecting 2 out of the 20 great ideas that came up, in 2 minutes, everybody votes in Morale. And the top 2 with the highest vote is what we are taking forward and moving forward. All those other ideas are brilliant, but we are going to keep them somewhere and we can start prioritizing. So the point is, prioritize any good thing that comes up and let the team agree to agree to what they are doing through team consensus and come up with actions and let them take ownership and accountability. Yeah, there's some ownership that, oh, this is a product owner thing. There's some ownership that this is the manager thing. Oh, there's an ownership, this is the Scrum Master or Agile coach. But there must be somebody taking ownership of each of those actions before you come out. Then we've talked a lot about icebreakers. So have icebreakers with movements. You know, when Helen was doing the icebreaker of, you know, paper, scissors, and rock, you are moving your hand. Icebreaker with movements, creative and challenging adventure. I will share a link with you that has so many icebreakers with movements, especially people that have, Ohad has done 3 hours back-to-back meetings and he hasn't gotten a cup of coffee. He has not even gone to the restroom because he's been so busy, right? You know, so you can even put, so immediately when everybody joins, you can do something simple like, okay, we're going to do a virtual something on, is this scavenger on or something like that? So inside where you are right now, pick 5 things, 1 thing on your table, 1 thing on your bookshelf, 1 thing on the floor, 1 thing on something. So indirectly in 2 minutes, you've gotten people to get up and take a walk. So everybody have 2 minutes, pick something, not on your table because you are just seated on that table and everything shouldn't be on your table. And also you may want to put some constraints as well, not your phone and not your wallet. So it could be something in your drawer or something or paper or something like that. Only 2 things while you are seated on your table. The other 3 things, just cut something else or something from your kitchen, what you love most from your kitchen. At least you are getting someone to walk out of the room to go to the kitchen. Then shared visual trumps words, right? When you are presenting, you don't want to have too many information. You know, when things are visible, it up focus the conversation and it brings attention. And if you are very artistic, which I'm very terrible at, I can't draw, be artistic about it. And this could be a guessful thing. You know, I'm sharing a picture and this is what we'll be talking about today. And I didn't tell you what the topic is. Guess what this is? Especially when you are collaborating across culture, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Oh, and ask for feedback. You know, people often complain that, you know, we can't read the room, especially when camera is off, you know, in online meeting. So you want to get information in different ways, you know, that you would have done in an in-person session. So there are different ways that you can do that. You can poll, you can use embodied feedback. I love embodied feedback. You know, do a movement or something with your body to give feedback. And that's my cool way of getting feedback anyway, or just by asking, make it simple. Agile principle number 10, simplicity. Make it simple. You know, and also have action items. Have action items. Are there actions that result from this meeting? And who owns it? And are we going to follow up after? I'm going to take a pause right now and see if there's any question before I move forward. Oh, there are 10 things in. Could you do the opposite and take your phone to the Yes, I love that. Do the opposite, Helen. Yeah, that's brilliant. I'm stealing that. Yeah. Yeah, check out the previous entries. Thank you. We're recording later. Yeah, thank you, man. The delegation poker. I do accept meetings that don't have an agenda. No, I don't. And do you know why I do that? I'm helping and developing the person that is setting up the meeting, and especially meeting that I'm needed. So tell me, what's the purpose of this meeting? And what's the outcome expected? And what are different ways that you want to facilitate and run this meeting so that we can achieve that outcome? That's a coaching moment for me, because all the questions that I've asked are called powerful questions that will get the person to think, what's the purpose? I actually is Ohad, who is the senior VP of engineering, that asked me to set up this meeting. I don't even know why you want to talk to all of us. Then go back to Ohad Idan and ask questions.
I'm always happy to answer.
So you want to maximize the value of your synchronous time. You know, one of the biggest wastes in your team's time is poorly facilitated meetings or events. And, you know, when people start rambling and there are rambling conversations that fail to produce an outcome, and it happens a lot. You know, you are in 30 minutes into the meeting and people are asking, actually, help me to understand, what are we doing here? Why are we here together? Or the instruction of what we are doing is not even clear. And this happens for meetings with no agenda or no clear purpose. So always make it, always you want to make it a habit to ensure that all your meetings, events, and everything on your calendar have a clear agenda, well facilitated, you have the right to, and you consider things that could be done asynchronously, things that you want to share beforehand, and let people talk about it. Then also think of constrained virtual collaboration time. You know, distributed teams have constraint for virtual collaboration time. For an example, there is hours of overlap, people working in different parts of the world, whereas the people in the same time zone can set a daily or weekly limit. But I've seen teams that they have 2 members in India, 1 in North America, 1 in a different part of the world, you know, the East, the West, the North, and every other part of the world. How do you want to ensure that every members of the team and all their voices are being heard? So maybe what you want to do is, for virtual collaboration time, start small and start with 2 hours per day and adjust accordingly. So in 8 hours a day, we are only going to spend 2 hours for events. We want to spend the remaining 6 hours to get work done. So I've seen that on a lot of teams working agreements. And for those that are in a different geographical location, if 8 teams, if 60 members are in North America, 2 are in India, for an example, how do we ensure that we set a time within that time overlap, even if North America has to wake up at 6 a.m. to meet the 4 p.m. Indian time, and that's the time that we're going to have our virtual collaboration. Maybe that's the time you have your stand-up. Sprint planning meeting, sorry, I forgot that this is not just an agile, folks, but a meeting that you want everybody to be there. Then bring everybody together, empower them, and let them make decisions on how they can have like a constrained virtual collaboration time. And only these 2 times that we're going to have synchronous meetings, and then everybody can get their work done for the remaining 6 hours. Then for constrained synchronous working time, you know, think of, if you want to get 1 step ahead, assuming your operation requirements allow this to happen. So you may want to consider setting a soft constraint for your synchronous working time. You know, so the true promise of remote working is the ability for people to design work around their lives. It's not around the organization. ensuring that they are getting the work done and they are getting it done at their best. And having asynchronous working is a critical path to making that happen. So encourage your team to take advantage of this flexibility. And, you can start early, spend the afternoon in the garden, knock off some stuff, and, you may just back to the previous, like, okay, we're only going to spend 4 hours, right, to do synchronous meeting, and the remaining 4 hours, we are going to use it to get work done. And also you want to have life as well. Let your team know that, I need 1 hour outside of this time for me to just go and play golf, or just relax, or just do meditation, or anything that you do. You also want to demonstrate the value that you have created in your meeting. At the end of the meeting, do a quick recap of outcome that is achieved and share it with everyone. That gives the pride in team collaboration and sense of achievement. When you do that, people will think, wow, I didn't even know that we achieved this much in this meeting. And this is a 1 minute, 2 minute recap. Always have time for that. Demonstrate the value that you have achieved. This is not only for sprint review or system demo or anything. There are tangible and intangible value. And as a facilitator, you want to demonstrate that. You want to ensure that you avoid over-inviting culture. I've talked about this a lot, and this is what Ohad was talking about. You are just over-inviting everybody that has no contribution or nothing to add to the meeting. Maybe what you want to do is the quick recap, the action, highlights of what was discussed could be shared with them just to keep them informed. There are some people that you just want to keep informed. You don't need them in decision-making or brainstorming activities. Don't invite them. There are some people that their input is really valuable and you need them to attend the meeting. So let's stop the over-inviting culture so that we can get people doing the work to have time to get the work done.
I have a very large meeting that other people who are invited keep inviting other people. So, but I try to send out an agenda every week so people know who should attend. And if it doesn't interest them, or and I do have people coming back and saying, so I don't need to be there. And I say, correct. This isn't, your
That's
topic or
brilliant,
whatever.
Mary.
But other people keep inviting other people. So
so you may want to put a clause, you may want to add some things in that agenda to say, you know what, if you know someone that their contribution is very valuable, they are not coming to listen. So there are people that, oh my gosh, I forgot what you call that. There's an icebreaker technique that talks about shoppers. I forgot the name of the icebreakers. It has like different stance that people take when they come to your meeting, right? If you are not a contributor and you are just going to listen in, then maybe it will be better for you to spend your time on something else. But, not the way I'm saying it, it sounds a bit rude, but a very better, a better way of saying it. I'm sure there's a better way of constructing that. We want to ensure that, you wisely spend your time for the day, X, Y, Z, just put it in a nice way. Oh, another thing is, let's take physical breaks. Breaks between meetings allow the brain to reset, and it helps reduce cumulative buildup of stress across meetings. The first few days, you may not feel it, but your body, it will start telling on your body because it's zapped everything off. And you feel that emotional, even it affects your body because you are seated in a place for a very long time, and body needs movement and it needs motion as well. But when you give participants, a chance to rest for 10 minutes in every 1 hour, between meetings, it helps the brain to reset a lot. And it's really interesting to see how brain science back up why we need to take breaks. And different people do meditation, they stretch or they change the scenery. I do that a lot. Sometimes I will stand up and I will look at my window. There's nobody walking past, but sometimes I'm just looking at what are the 5 things I've never noticed before, and I'm looking around to notice it. So I do that, you know, sometimes, and I go to the kitchen a lot to grab snacks. And sometimes I make sure that I don't have water in the room so that I can get up to go and take water from the kitchen. If I have water in my office, then I'm not going to get up. You know, research shows that breaks are very important, not just because it make us less exhausted by the end of the day, but it actually improves our ability to stay focused and engage while we are meeting. So for me, I have my Apple's, you know, my smartwatch. It's a big incentive for me. And I set up every 1 hour, you know, I'll receive an alarm that I need to stand up and take a walk. I don't need to step outside the house, but I can take a walk in my house, or I can do 1 minute breathing. And if you like yoga, just do your 1 minute or 2 minutes yoga. And there are so many other elaborate apps that you can use to do that. Sometimes I block my calendar for some intervals on my calendar. I'm not having any meeting. It's not for meeting time. It's for self-care. We leaders and coaches and scrum masters, we care so much about the people, and we care so much about the value our team is creating, but we forget about ourselves. Care about myself, and I, and myself, me, myself, and I. Because when you care about yourself, then you can take care of other people productively, effectively, and efficiently.
I think that's very memorable and something that we should all apply and help others as well to apply. So thanks to bring that on. And actually, I feel compelled to ask you something. I know we're running out of time, 5 minutes to wrap up. But
5 minutes, okay. I'm almost done actually.
you also have this interest about how to decode and how to increase positive emotions. So I can't let you go without telling us a little bit about that.
Okay. All right. So, I remember that. I remember that presentation. Okay, so let me round up in 1-2 minutes what is left. Empower people at every level to change their behavior, their habits. And for you to do that, you have to role model the behavior that you want them to see, you know, you want them to have. Then sometimes some organizations give reward mechanism in place to recognize all those new behavior, new habits. Experiment, you know, Agile or Scrum is all about experimentation. Try different things and see what works for you. And mindfulness is very, 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 very important. You know, there are different mindfulness apps that helps you to breathe and reflect and everything. So I could say that's the end of my presentation. So there are different team building activities and stuff like that. Virtual in-person bingo, virtual bingo. And finally, the promise of remote and hybrid work is far more simple, using technology to build that flexibility into people's lives so that we can live well and do what we love to do. And balancing asynchronous and synchronous meetings and working on different things that we've talked about will really help. So what's that question again? I'm trying to remember what's on that presentation. So there are different ways that you can decode people's emotion. And Divine, Caroline and Divine, you are here. Please, I will need your help to remind me. I know music is one of the things, and Divine does this a lot. What I do as well is I play music. Research shows that music is the best way that you can help to decode people's emotion. And when you're playing music, play the kind of music that your team will resonate with. The mood also matters. Your team just finished a demo and stakeholders were not happy, they are unhappy coming to your next meetings or your next event, you need to choose the music based on the mood your team is bringing into that meeting. Then I think drawing together, so what emotion did you hear in the music? Then we can draw it together and we can play around with the emotion. And I forgot other things. I can share the deck, it's there. So I'm done. If there's any question, any thoughts, any addition. And please, what's your key takeaways? I would love it to put it in the Zoom chat. What did you learn from today that you'll start doing from tomorrow? Or from today, if this is morning time or afternoon time for you? What are your key takeaways? At least one.
I really, really enjoyed your, just that, did I motivate one person today? And did I motivate my team? I know that you can have favorite teams and not so favorite teams, and it's easy to motivate people that you like, you get on with, but the teams that may be a bit behind, or whatever the situation is, it can be quite hard. And just having those questions on your laptop on a post-it, I never really thought about those questions before, so that's been very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, that's brilliant, Helen. Yeah. And Corley wrote, I will put my working agreements on display. Yeah, do that.
I like that. I took away the fact that as natural coaches and leaders and things, you're always there to support others, but have to think about yourself. My husband yells at me every day, stop working. Well, I can't let the team down. I can't, So it's, thinking about yourself so that you're better to help others.
Yeah, thank you, Mary. And in the deep wrote, more frequent use of icebreaker, use it at the beginning, use it in the middle, just to create that excitement and hype. And you can use it at the end for polling.
And it takes everybody 5 minutes to get into the meeting properly. So yeah, I often display things, silly things, or just places. Or today is, by the way, National Tortilla Chip Day and National Toast Day. So that was at the beginning of my meeting earlier.
Oh, Ellen, we should have started with a toast. So thank
Some of us are still working here and still have customer meetings.
Oh, Jed is saying, why are you sitting here, Mary? So Ines and Helen, I'm handing over to you. Thank you so much. We don't have time for any other thing, and I'm grateful for being on your platform today.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I mean, I've taken like tons and tons of notes. So it has been certainly very, 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 very valuable. And on the note of feedback, guys, we really, really do appreciate your feedback on what's gone well, what hasn't maybe, and what you would like to hear more about, because our goal is to bring people that you want to hear about, topics that you want to understand, knowledge share, all of those things. So all of that is super valuable to us. Great. I think that kind of brings us to the end. Ines, have you popped that in the chat?
Yeah, I popped the link, and in line with that, because of the great request and attention in terms of the conflict session that we had, next month we're going to have another one around conflict as well at work.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone.
Great, enjoy your days.
Have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.